In the TED Talk, How Public Spaces Work, Amanda Burden said that cities are fundamentally about people, where they go, and where they meet being the core of what makes a city work. That quote stood out to both of us and made us interested in looking at a city that really did center its design and planning around the people. This led us to Copenhagen, a city that truly does put its people first. At first glance, Copenhagen has a design that is both aesthetically pleasing and innovative, combining beautiful buildings with a layout for the city that keeps this energy of functionality and simplicity, sustainability, and an emphasis on human interaction and natural materials all in mind. These philosophies combine to create a grand modern architecture utilizing natural light and human-scale interior design. These different aspects of planning that are so vital to Copenhagen's identity are what sets it apart from other cities, keeping it one of the best cities for urban design in the world. Seeing how Copenhagen has combined these aspects of beauty with such function made us curious to delve deeper into the best aspects of Copenhagen's planning. This led us to three main areas: public transportation, the five-finger plan, and green spaces. These three pillars in planning are what define Copenhagen and contribute to the unique nature of the city.
Now more than ever, adverse environmental impacts must be considered in the planning of major cities. Urban designers have provisioned the implementation of several forms of sustainable energy production for the city, such as wind power, biomass fuel, and several other alternatives, in an effort to make the city carbon neutral by the year 2025. One of the greatest tools in this endeavor is the revolution of transportation in Copenhagen and the strive to provide alternate methods for citizens to access and thrive in all parts of the city. In order to make Copenhagen carbon neutral, access to transportation has proven to be a large asset in the movement towards a more eco-friendly community. Though bicycles have been a part of Danish culture dating back to the 1880s, the automobile remained the predominant mode of transportation for Copenhageners until the 1960s, when a shift towards sustainability began to take precedence. To begin this transformation, the city has undertaken an interest in the aesthetically pleasing and functional idea of accessibility to pedestrian and bicycle traffic. In recent years, it has been approximated that nearly 40% of all Copenhageners cycle on a daily basis. The city has taken such a liking to the mode of transport that the word Copenhagenize has been defined as the practice of adding bicycle infrastructure to a city. Jan Gell, the Danish architect responsible for much of these changes seen in Copenhagen, has been recognized for her ideals by planners across the globe. Many cities, including New York City, have yielded to her expertise in the realm of adding pedestrian and bicycle infrastructure to their well-established streets. The shift towards a community that values alternate forms of transportation reaps many benefits. Along with positive environmental impacts, it also eases many structural challenges that cities face by eliminating the need of large parking areas and alleviating traffic. Furthermore, this ease of transportation allows for the flourishing of local commerce due to increased access to smaller, regionally driven, boutique-style stores that line the city's bustling streets. Not only has Copenhagen revolutionized their bicycle and pedestrian transportation methods, the city has also placed an increased importance on access to mass public transportation for citizens who may need to travel greater distances than are easily accessible by means of foot or cycle. Currently, Copenhagen boasts a mass transit system that is comprised of several buses, 4 lines of water buses, and a metro system. While the metro system is currently rather small, reaching only 22 stops, there are plans currently underway to expand the lines to include 17 additional stops, enabling more widespread access to more remote parts of the city.
The five-finger plan of Copenhagen is renowned as a model for urban planning. From the first plan back in 1947, the basis has been to have urban development concentrated along city fingers that then are linked to the railway system and radial road networks. In addition, a hallmark of the plan is that the city fingers are separated by green wedges, which do not allow development. This way of developing the city makes it extremely people-oriented. It focuses on making it a pleasant place to live and work. The city is not just a jumble of buildings and concrete, but set up in a way that buildings are concentrated in core areas to then allow for the green wedges in between. These green spaces were made with the purpose of giving people the option to have outdoor activity and make them a priority. As the city has grown, this plan has also had to grow and adapt. For instance, as the growth and development of industry changed, the Greater Copenhagen Council had to take that into account and adjust areas of development accordingly. A main feature of this plan that has always been a main area of focus for the various planning councils is the furthering of Copenhagen as a green capital in the future. This relates to the finger plan in that the government has districted certain areas to be green and to be untouched by development, and they are helping to expand and cultivate these areas as well. One thing that this structure does, outside of providing parks and space for the citizens, is help ensure smoother traffic situations compared to other metropolitan areas. In addition, the councils have utilized public investments in traffic infrastructure in the best, most cost-efficient way.
Metropolitan development in present-day Copenhagen is geared towards the creation of arenas for public gathering. Life in the city has a tendency to isolate humans from their relationship with nature, especially where commercial development and automobile infrastructure dominate many aspects of everyday society. As Copenhagen shifts towards pedestrian, bicycle, and mass transit, reclamation of space within the city that can be used to reconnect citizens with the environment develops in tandem. Rather than undertaking grand, expansive projects, planners have realized the desire that citizens feel towards merely having ease of access to green spaces. As a result of the development of these compact, widely dispersed spaces, public areas have increased greatly in usage. This is attributed to their close proximity to flourishing neighborhoods, which requires less travel time for Copenhageners. While these new developments are characterized broadly as green spaces, they serve many diverse functions. They can come in the form of gardening facilities, parks, nature areas, small play areas, sports and recreation facilities, public allotments, and even cemeteries. Each usage of open space in the city has its own place in daily Danish culture. Today, approximately 25% of Copenhagen's city area is dominated by green space. The park policy, a utensil in the toolkit of the Green Copenhagen Initiative, was founded in hopes of managing the growth and expansion of green space in the city. The park policy allows local jurisdictions to manage the establishment of community areas, adopting a future-seeking mindframe as well to incorporate maintenance of the green areas in decisions regarding municipal planning. This ideal can be seen visibly in policy that designates land for trees, natural areas, playgrounds, and bicycle and pedestrian paths. Not only does the plan set aside physical land, it also contains provisions that outline the quality and financial priority of green projects while also considering protection of natural and cultural values. Copenhagen has come to be renowned as an example by which many cities model their future development goals. In an effort to promote efficiency and sustainability, the transformation of Copenhagen over the past several decades has been geared primarily towards the priorities of its citizens, providing safe alternative transit methods, creating spaces for public gathering in connection with nature, and enabling ease of access to all corners of the city. Such forward-seeking planning paves a path of vitality for several generations to come for all Copenhageners.